My wife! Clioaite, the wife guy? I bet I'd be a great wife guy. Guys, do you think you'd be a good wife guy? You'd be like, sorry guys, I can't come out today. I'm spending time with my wife, who I love. You know you're a wife guy? Are you married? Are there any wife guys in chat? Okay, big question. That's actually a big question. I know there are some married Hextorians. Are there any married Hextorians in chat who are wife guys? Yeah, my wife is streaming. Damn, what's the handle? Maybe I can collab with her. It's at Jean Faymas. She's not live, you coward. And yeah, I know that you like her more than me because you all the clips. Ooh. Where? Person who starts clipping you switches to a different streamer and clips them more. Where? I got NTR'd by my friend. Isn't that also because Jet streamed more than you? Yes, I did basically have like a break from streaming for like 2 weeks. Also, I hope this doesn't come across as me like attacking you or having a go or anything. No, you're good? Okay. That means I wasn't harsh enough. I'm just kidding. I'm backseating my clipper right now. I am, aren't I? Oh no. This is how you should have the title. This is bad. This is a bad title. You like librarian style of titling? Yeah, that's kind of basically it, right? Like, that said, he does clip a lot of like game related stuff, which I guess if I'm to be observational, you tend to not clip stuff when it's during gameplay, because I guess more of the time at least for me, I'm probably focusing more on the game, which is more of a streamer error rather than your situation, like decision. He knows game. I know game, but then I focus too much on the game. There's going to be Cursed Halo tomorrow. Are you going to do like a supercut of all the banter of me calling Jets my daddy or something? In which we have like a weird sexual tension between Jets and I in Halo? Is that what's getting clipped? Well, if you want to. I feel like it's a good bit though, in which we turn like Jets referring to her walk, what was it? Her hoglet, and then it turned into like a whole bit of having a relationship. You think I want art of me and my friends? Not like that. I don't know. Like, I like Jets, but I don't know if we'd want to date. That said, we do get on like a house on fire. I don't know, it's weird to think about like your friends romantically, you know? I feel like realistically, you shouldn't fall in love with your friends. I feel like with Jets and I, we have really good in terms of like, we have like really good compatibility in terms of like banter and similar tastes and similar interests. So like we have a lot of overlap in terms of just like, and like we get along really well as a result of that. So like you can kind of see how like when you have such a good relationship in that regard that you could potentially say, well, you know, like you're really good friends. Like maybe if you've ever had a close friend where you're like, damn, we get along really well, we're really compatible, we're good friends, you know, our interests align a lot, we have lots to talk about, we get along really well. I think it's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's natural, but I think for a lot of people that's very easy to do, is to think, damn, I really like spending time with this person, what if I kept doing that? And that went different, right? Like that went further, I guess. You've never had female friends? That's also a thing, is that apparently some guys think you can't have female friends. Whereas it's cherry-pricked. It was cherry-pricked? Cherry-picked. There was that video, I think, filmed on a university campus, which is very cherry-picked, which was about asking guys and girls if they think they could have friends of the opposite sex. And all the guys said no, and all the girls said yes. Because all the guys see the girls as potential dating partners, and all the girls are just like, no, I just like, you know, being friends with them. Whereas the guys are seeing them in like a potentially romantic light, you know? Uni is where you see the most cross-gender friend groups. That's what I'm saying. I was hanging out with nerdy dudes all the time. In my sister's friend group, there were situations where like one of the guy friends will get a girlfriend, and then those girlfriends will be super insecure about the fact that he already has a lot of female friends as well. And it's like, ooh. But that's like a problem with that woman rather than, you know, anything else. You find it easy to be friends with girls than dudes as a dude? It also could just be like, there's also like nature versus nurture almost aspects to it, where it's like, I think women are typically raised to be friendlier. I'm not saying guys aren't inherently less friendly than girls, but I feel like women are more open to, let's say, I don't know, just being friendly from the get-go, if that makes sense. Whereas I feel like guys are more reserved. Does that make sense? A lot of guys sometimes have the problems where they mistake friendliness for, like, attraction. I hope this makes sense. It's a bit of a heavy topic. Well, it's not really a heavy topic. It's talking about society, I guess, and people's expectations. I also am only speaking of this from experience of my generation. I have no idea what it's like for people younger than me. I have a clue of what it's like for people older than me, but I don't know what it's like for the new generation when everything is online and you're hyper connected all the time and Snapchat exists and all that jazz. I imagine it's very different. It's also different depending on what part of the world. Right, yeah, there'll be different social and cultural, how do I say, cues, perhaps? Clues? Cues? The COVID generation, I imagine, oh, no offense, but I imagine that's fucked up. You gave up on dating? I mean, if you're truly happy, then all the power to you. But at least my motto is like, hey, always remain, you know, open to the possibility of it. Like, don't close yourself off. Like, as long as you're like, at least for me, not for me, the general advice that I always see online, or not general advice, but the general advice that I think is quite applicable is like, you know, work on yourself first. And by working on yourself and finding true happiness being by yourself, it will make you more attractive as a person because you are more comfortable with being yourself and hopefully also more, let's say, developed, I don't know, with yourself, right? Because a lot of people, unfortunately, have weird expectations of like they, you know, unironically need the goth GF to fix them, you know? They can't fix themselves, but you need to fix yourself first before maybe other people will find you attractive, you know? You can't rely on the kindness of someone else to fix you. That's why there's so many, this very beautiful woman in the convenience store falls in love with me and stuff. There's definitely like a, sometimes, I think a lot of younger people especially kind of are hoping or expecting love to find them rather than going out of the way to try love. But that said, a lot of modern dating involves stuff like apps, in which case, that's kind of awful. And I can understand that people they try and use modern dating apps and then it's just the way people treat each other on those apps is fucked up. Speaking from personal experience, the most, let's say, I don't know if you want to use the word right, but success, I guess, in meeting new people, making connections was in social events instead of in apps. That said, that was also before, those apps kind of dominated, I guess, online dating or dating culture in general. They still existed, right? Like when I was in university, I'm pretty sure Tinder had started. When did Tinder start? Like 2011? Your colleague tried dating apps, got together with a guy, got a kid 2 months into the relationship. That shit went south and he stabbed her colleague's mum 50 times and tried to kill a kid. What the fuck? Look, I'm not saying that's a very extreme example, but you probably shouldn't use that as like this is why you shouldn't do these things. It's very extreme, but it made you nope really hard. Like, I mean, you're kind of, I don't know, that's very judgmental of like one interaction to ruin an entire way that people now date, I guess, or meet people. I don't know. I've tried apps. I haven't used apps in a long time. A plane crashed, guess I'm never getting on a plane type shit. That is kind of that sort of mentality, right? Like, oh shit, 9/11 happened. I'm never getting on a plane ever again. The risks are there, I suppose. Yeah, but like, the risks are there when you're driving a car. Driving cars scares you, but it gives you adrenaline. That's a lot of things. A lot of things that scare you give adrenaline. I think that's like the human body's reaction to it. Anyway, yeah, we were talking about interactions, I guess, between men and women. We were also talking about clipping. How did we get from VTuber clipping to this? I don't remember. How did we jump from that? How did we jump from VTuber clips to dating? Someone mentioned dating Jets. Oh yeah, we were talking about the potential of me dating my friend Jets. I think as nice as that might be, but like, I'm happy being friends with my friend Jets. You know, like relationships kind of just, for a lot of people, they just kind of happen, you know? Register out of convenience, like in a manga. I mean, we did say that we have the agreements at, what was it, 67. When I'm 67 and she's 57. Not that, I don't know, I don't think there's a 10-year gap, is there? I don't know, I haven't checked. Guys, you don't need to say 67 when I say 67. from personal experience, when I went to parties without like just wanting to hang out with my friends, you know, nothing like no expectations of meeting anyone. That's when I seem to have I guess my best, I don't know if you want to say success rate of like actually forming relationships with people for the first time. And not necessarily like always romantic. They could also just be like friendships instead of just relationships. Be the person you want to date? Me foo? I have to become me foo? Every time I hear Clio say gob, it reminds me of Gobby slob on the knob. No, that was Dobby. Dobby! Dobby wanting slobby gobby on his knobby. Dobby pays for the slobby gobby with a sock. Master has given Dobby a cock.